Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I want to do a video just kind of showing you about these MaxFactory and Minimum Factory 120 scale kits. This is Allier. There's a few other different ones in the series. I think there's about 10 or 15 of these now. They're not very cheap, but they're these little plastic injection 120 scale figures. This one I like quite a bit. It kind of reminds me of Sochie Heim from Turn A Gundam, so that's kind of an idea of the paint scheme I'm going to use for this. Sochie in her pilot uniform, it's kind of similar to that sort of look. Anyway, like I said, it's the Minimum Factory line is what these go by, and they usually come in these just kind of boxes like this. And yeah, they're not that cheap. I don't think the price is listed anywhere on here, but I think this was around 2,700 yen, so about 25 bucks for this. Not that cheap, but here you can see what the kit is going to look like just straight out of the box. So it is injected, it is color molded, but obviously not going to be quite as nice as a fully painted kit. Here you can see just like the original artwork for that, and then just some other stuff down there at the bottom. Let's pop it open and see how this looks. We have this little sorry for the sound there. So just this cardboard insert tray here with these very spacious runners here. So we'll take a look at all those parts here in a minute. We do also have a set of Waterslide decals, which is really cool. So you got Waterslide decals for the eyes, and then water slides for the red trim parts around on her military uniform. And then we have our instruction manual. So here on the back is just kind of showing you, again, just some artwork for the character there. That's really cool. And then a nice big color photos of the painted kit, so you can see how that looks, and then where the decals go on that, like the red lining around the skirt and around the collar and on top of the shoulders there, and the eye decals, of course, where those go. Here is the parts list and order. So you can see all the different parts there, and if you need to order some separate ones, of course, if you live in Japan, you can utilize that. And then how the kit all goes together. So fairly simple instructions there, some more cool artwork there at the bottom. And then the other side, this is really cool. I actually did not know this was included, but you get this long poster. So the whole instructions just fold out to be this long poster there of the character. So that's really cool. That's a nice thing that's included with that. It kind of makes it so that like when you're done with it, the instructions aren't just thrown away, but they're actually, you actually can use them for something if you want to put that up on your wall. And here I just want to show you guys some of the runners so you can get a sense of some of the detail and the scale on these. Again, these runners are so weird, just such huge empty spaces on there, don't really know why. The runners don't appear to be having any specific number, just all the parts are numbered, so you can see like this would be parts like for sleeves, and then here's like the main part of the body there, obviously missing the blue parts on the side, so you can see just a sense of the detail for that. Just a couple little white parts here for little bits of hair. A couple of blue parts here for the legs and the body. Well, here's the parts for the legs, blue parts here for the legs there, 1, 2. Molded in green here, just parts for the satchel, and then the straps for that, and then this little base for it too, so that'll make it not only easier to paint, you can actually just like hold it on the base, but then you have like your own little base for it as well. You can just paint that up if you want. And then molded in dark green here as well, some parts for the hat, the shoes, and the back side of the satchel. And then molded in flesh tone here, we have the hands, the upper thighs, lower buttocks, and part of the neck, and then the face here as well. So some nice molding there on the face, looking pretty nicely detailed. The expression, everything. Very, very small though, as you can see. So let me get this snapped together, and then I'll show you guys how it's going to look just snapped up straight out of the box. Alright, so here we have the kit when it's all put together. I don't want to say snapped together because the kit doesn't actually snap together. There's a few parts of this kit that would hold together without glue, but definitely in order to put the whole thing together, you are definitely going to need glue. So about half the parts are probably now glued into place permanently. I did take my time, and it really took quite a while, to be honest, to really clean up all of the mold lines and everything on the kit. There's no seam lines or anything, but there are just the normal mold lines you'd have whenever you get just molded plastic parts. It's just kind of something that's just a part of the thing, and so mold lines really drive me crazy, even the tiniest of them, so I really do my best to try to get rid of them. So it just took a lot of time, just sanding little tiny bits of where there was mold lines, getting everything fit really well. A couple parts though I did have to kind of shave down a little bit to get them to fit a little better. Between the two parts of the thighs, there's like actually those plug up into the waist, but then they also plug together. There's a connection between the two thigh parts, and I actually just cut that off and got rid of that, and then the thighs actually fit together more nicely. Before with that peg there, they didn't quite fit in perfectly snugly, so had to fix that a little bit. Had to fix the hair. The front hair also didn't quite fit on, or like around the face very well, so I had to do a little bit of trimming on that as well to get the hair to fit correctly around the face, the bangs I mean, to fit around the face, and then to get the helmet on there and everything. So it's not really a big deal. I mean, it's nice that everything's color separated as much as it is, but considering that you have to glue a bunch of stuff in place, I could have painted the parts separately and then glued them on, but what I'm planning on doing anyway is probably most of the kit will just be hand painted anyway, so it doesn't really matter if the parts are glued together or not, so I'm not going to need to separate them for airbrushing. So a really cool figure. These, yeah, it's just really expensive. I think for the price, I can see where the price is coming from, just because it is separated into a fair amount of parts. I mean, it's not like a lot, considering that this costs about the same amount as a real grade kit. I think in comparison that's going to be pretty crazy when you think about it. But I know MaxFactory is just a much smaller company, and so there's a lot of different reasons for that. But just like when you're just talking about the price comparison, if you were wanting to buy something like this, I think you'd probably have to have a really specific reason for wanting to buy it, or have a lot of disposable income. So I really like this, and I really would like to get some more, but the price is just pretty high. So I don't know if or when I'll be buying some more. We'll just have to see. And just in case you guys were curious about the size of this, here it is compared with a standard HG 144 scale size Gunpla kit. And yeah, you can see that it's pretty small being at 120 scale. So overall, I gotta say, it makes for a really nice looking figure. If you aren't gonna paint it, at least doing some panel lining on it just to bring out the details. Put on the Waterslide decals, and you could have a pretty nice kit even without fully painting it, I think, because it is so color separated as it is, and it does come with some nice Waterslide decals. But I think it's definitely gonna be much better, of course, if you are gonna want to paint it. And like I said, just for the price, it's kind of a lot for what it is. So if you can justify that and you really like this, then I'm sure you'll be totally pleased with it. The poster is a really nice, cool touch as well. I like that it's included that poster. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. Hopefully that was helpful if you've been interested in these kits. That seems to, here is a good example. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any other questions or comments, do feel free to leave those down below. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. See you next time.